William has taken his first historic steps on Israeli soil, becoming the only member of the British royal family to visit the Jewish state, in an official capacity. His Royal Air Force plane landed at Tel Aviv's Ben-Gurion airport, at 6:16 p.m. local time, and he will now travel on to Jerusalem, for a 4-day trip that will include a visit to the occupied Palestinian territories. He was met by Israeli Tourism Minister Yarif Levin, British Ambassador to Israel, David Quarry and the Israeli Ambassador to the UK, Mark Regev, before being driven to the King David Hotel in historic Jerusalem, where he will stay for the remainder of the trip. Following a relatively relaxed start to his visit to the Middle East, which included watching England and Panama with Jordan's Crown Prince, and a drinks reception last night, William will now begin his historic tour of the West Bank. The Duke of Cambridge will also meet with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in Jerusalem, and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, in the West Bank city of Ramallah, at a time of widening rifts between the two sides. The decision by the US to move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem last month sparked the worst wave of violence for 4 years and left 60 Palestinians dead, and more than 2,000 injured. Last week Israeli forces launched airstrikes on Palestinian militant positions in the Gaza Strip after rockets and mortars were fired into Israel. During his visit to the country, William will visit the World Holocaust Remembrance Center, and lay a wreath where the ashes of victims are buried. He will also visit Jerusalem's Old City and the grave of his great-grandmother, Princess Alice of Greece, Prince Philip's mother. The prince will also cross the border into Palestine to visit Ramallah on the West Bank, where he will focus on issues facing refugee communities and meet President Abbas. A Kensington Palace spokesman said, "The historic nature of this tour is, of course, important, and the Duke of Cambridge considers it a great privilege to be undertaking the first ever official royal tour of Israel and the Palestinian territories." A diplomatic source said the UK was keen to get a royal tour under their belt in the hope it would pave the way for further visits to the region, highlighting the fact that the issues between Israel and Palestine are far from resolved. Kensington Palace has underlined the non-political nature of His Royal Highness's role, in common with all royal visits overseas, but the region is a minefield of sensitivities. Though the trip is being billed as non-political, and places a special emphasis on technology and joint Israeli-Arab projects, the Duke of Cambridge will also be meeting with Israeli and Palestinian leaders, and visiting landmark Jerusalem sites at the heart of the century-old conflict. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict typically looms large, even during largely ceremonious visits, and the Duke of Cambridge will have to maneuver carefully to avoid missteps. Last week, an Israeli cabinet minister complained about the royal itinerary's reference to Jerusalem, as part of the occupied Palestinian territories, calling it a distortion of reality. Meanwhile, the Palestinians claimed the trip was an indirect apology for Britain's role in the region, reports The Telegraph. The prince will stay at the King David Hotel in Jerusalem for the rest of the trip. It is the site of the former administrative headquarters of the British Mandate, and was the scene of an horrific terror attack on July 22, 1946, by Zionist paramilitary group the Irgun. The bombing destroyed the entire south side of the hotel, which had been used as the central offices of the British Mandatory Authorities of Palestine, claiming the lives of 92 people, including scores of British soldiers. The director of operations at the King David Hotel in Jerusalem, Sheldon Ritz, this week told Jewish News that the prince will take one of the 3 suites on the top floor, either the Jerusalem suite, the royal suite, or the presidential suite, which all face the Old City. On his arrival, hotel bosses have instructed staff to make some scones, with clotted cream and strawberry jam, for the Duke as a welcome gift. The Duke's Middle East trip concludes on Thursday,